What's up, Relentless Warriors? You want to learn how you can take this and turn it into this?
Great Scott!
Stay tuned. That's coming up next. What's up, you Relentless Warriors? Today I'm going to discuss with you what I often consider an overlooked body part that oftentimes we struggle with when we're doing regular workout routines, and that is your wrists. Predominantly your forearms, where you're basically doing a lot of body weight exercises, or even with dumbbells where you're doing things where it requires grip or requires pressing, and oftentimes people will get pain in their forearms or their wrists because they're often too weak. Now, you might have hand pain, you might have wrist pain. The first exercise I'm going to show you is rather unconventional, but it only requires a piece of paper. And basically, I have some sheets of paper right here. We're going to sit down on the bench. This one happens to be instructions to the weight bench that Rich and I did not use, and that's why it was hard for us to put it together. Anyway, I'm going to sit down right here. You could sit, you could stand. I recommend basically just sitting down, relax, get some scrap piece of paper. Now you're going to start in the corner here, and all you're going to do is crumple it up. Now I'm starting in the corner here. Now I want to dangle this paper at the end, and then I'm going to use my fingers to basically crumple the paper into a ball. And if you've noticed, you could see that I am activating the muscles there. I'm working my fingers, working my wrists, working my forearms, and then once I get it all wrapped up, I squeeze it as tight as I can. Now, if you don't want to waste another piece of paper, you can unroll it and then do it all over again. I used to take stacks of used paper that I did before, and then just basically I would strengthen my wrist that way. It just keeps your wrist loose. It doesn't require anything else but a piece of paper. Do that several times a week, and you will definitely see some strength building in your fingers, your wrists. The people who deal with carpal tunnel, this is a good one. This is one that I recommend. Oftentimes you'll see people do the rubber band. We're not going to do that today. I'm not going to show you that one. That one's a little bit more common these days, but the piece of paper is something that everybody has access to, and you can still use that to strengthen your wrist. Now, the other one is going to be dumbbells. This is a little bit more conventional. I have showed these in previous workouts, but those of you who might have missed that, I would always recommend going light. This is something that you want to sit down, and what you're going to do is you're going to rest your forearm across your leg. Now, if you notice here, my wrist is just slightly off my knee. I also take my other hand, the opposite hand, not holding the dumbbell, and I'll brace it back here like that. Now, from here, I see a lot of people, they'll do this. Now, you're engaging your forearm, but you're not getting the full momentum, and you're certainly not working the muscles in your hands. What you want to do is you want to drop your fingers down. And then from here, you're just slowly gripping the ends of your fingertips with the dumbbell. Now, that forces my hand to actually activate more muscle, recruiting more muscle fibers in your hand, and then pulling it up here. So you're dropping all the way down, coming right back up. Now, once again, I want to reiterate, your forearm is actually balanced or braced on your thigh, and it's going slightly off your knee, and then from here you go like that. Now, don't go too heavy, especially when you're first starting out, and then I would recommend going light. Right now I'm basically controlling about 10 pounds here, and you want to do about 15 or 20 reps. If you feel comfortable in doing that and the lightweight is fine, you could even go up to 25, 30 reps, and you can slowly build from there. Now, same thing with the dumbbell. Again, going lightweight. Now I'm going to basically reverse that, and I'm going to put the front of my arm down, and now I'm facing the back of my hand here. This one's a little bit more difficult. So with this one, you might want to go a little bit lighter, and all you're doing here, same deal, you're dropping your wrists down. I'm bracing here to make sure my elbow does not come off of my thigh, because if it does that, you're kind of taking away and you're defeating the purpose of being able to engage these muscles. So you're coming here, make sure the pressure on the elbows on your thigh, and then you're bringing it up just like that. Be careful that you're not doing this. We're going to go to that, but that's a different move. You want to make sure you're trying to keep this dumbbell as straight as possible. Let me give you a different angle on this side. So you're coming straight up and then down. Once again, I would say 15 or 20 reps. Again, this one's far more difficult. Make sure you drop if you need to. So that's another one in your routine. The next one is the hammer wrist curl, which is what I basically was showing you. So once again, the same rules apply. You're going to rest your forearm across the leg. You're going to basically follow up to the knee using your other hand, brace it here, and then basically you want to come down, and then it's a small range of motion. You don't want to fully dip down here because you're basically losing engagement of the muscle anyway. So you want to stop about right here, coming straight up. It's just a small range of motion, but once again, controlled. Especially notice on that eccentric or downward motion, I'm not making it any jerky movements, just like that. Every angle you are basically engaging. Now the last one is kind of a full motion. I call these doorknobs because you're basically just kind of turning your wrist. Now, if you're going light, you don't have to worry about the speed because you'll have it under control. But if you go heavy, make sure you're going slow. I still like to brace my wrist back here. I'll open up and then I'll turn it out. That's all you're doing, just like that. This one, once again, go light. And here's how I count the reps. So when I come out and then down, I count it as 1. Out, down, that's 2. Out, down, that's 3. And you can really rack up the reps on this one. This one I tend to finish with, after I did all the other moves, I finish with something like that and I bang out as many as I can until I burn out. I alternate between hands, so I'll do 15 reps on one side, 15 on the other. Then I'll go back if I'm doing another set, and I'll go through all these exercises. And my recommendation is basically do this 3 times a week. Now there's one more, and this one is for the advanced people out there who want to really strengthen your fingertips, whether you're an athlete, whether you just want a stronger grip, or you feel like you want to pull a lot of weight. This is really good for that because it strengthens your hands to be able to handle it, where you don't need the wraps for that. You guys are too tough for wraps anyway, but you know the point. All right, so you're gonna get down here. I'm gonna show you the I'll show you the easier version, and then we'll kind of work our way up and progressively show you the harder version. The first one is just like that. Fingertips. Now there's a couple of ways. A lot of people bend it like that if you notice my knuckles are coming in. The next one is you want to go on the tip of your knuckles like this. I call that the bear claw. The other way, you're basically just doing fingertip rests. The bear claw is when you're literally on the tops of your fingers. Now this one's a very difficult, very painful move. Now like I said, this is advanced, so start on your knees. Now all I would do, we're not going to do a push-up here because this is just about strengthening the fingertips. If you want to, you can just lift your toes and then balance this and hold it for about 30 seconds. Now I'm on the bear claw. If that gets too hard, you just go down to the regular fingertips, just like that. You're on the pads now, and it's the same thing. Still strengthening your fingers, you're still strengthening your grip, your wrists, your forearms. Everything's activating, but it's a little bit easier. Now one of the things I like to do, still on my knees, is I like to go up to bear claw and then down to the pads. So that's kind of like repping it out. Now this one, I don't do reps, I'll do it time for like 60 seconds. Now, for those crazy advanced people out there, and I know you're out there because you're asking me about these things, I'll start with the pads first. So it's the same deal, but now you're just lifting your knees. And then if you want to make it a little bit more fun or just keep yourself activated, you could drop your knees and bring them back up. Drop them, bring them back up. Now I'm on my pads of my fingers, or I can also do bear claw. Same deal. Drop the knees all the way back up. Bear claw. I promise you, if you do this 3 times a week, you will feel the strength in your wrists, your fingertips, your forearms, and your grip will get better. So if you're into deadlifting, or if you just have been struggling with hand pain in general, go through some of these exercises, see what works for you. Start really simple and then work your way up. If you stay consistent with it, you're going to discover that your hand pain will get better. Hopefully will alleviate some of that problem that you're dealing with now. So there it is, guys. If you have any questions regarding the things that I showed you, feel free to leave that in the comments section below. And as always remember, eat healthy, train hard, most especially have fun. I'm Relentless Jake. You remember, stay focused, stay dedicated, have a strong grip, tight grip, control life. Get the bull by his horns and break his neck. I mean, figuratively speaking. You know what I mean. And I'm out. We are... 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, come on. Oh, I don't know, so much, not right here, right there.